everybody, this is your host, Vic, and today we have the, Alexander Pedals Syntax Air 2 pedal. So it is a MultiFX of mostly modulation style of a pedal, and has plenty of presets in it. I believe 32 presets that you can have, that you can also set to your own presets, and plenty of different little modes hiding under the hood. So it is a very menu diving style of pedal. So I'm not going to go through everything, or else this would turn into one of those 3-hour long Electron reviews. So currently I'm using the preset Ocean Way that I have set to the ring mode. I haven't set anything else up here, because one thing that's actually really cool is that it has a sequencer. If you can watch the frequency right there, how it keeps changing is because it has a sequencer set within this mode, where if I just flick it slightly, it's somewhere in here. Yeah, see how you can go and set the sequence within it, which is actually pretty neat when just going through all the different little things it has, which is actually quite something. That's why I said when turning it, you can see it's all the different little things. This is a very in-depth style pedal to learn, and it's not that hard to essentially drive it or work with it. It's just there's so many options that if you want to try and dial in something that you want, it's going to take a minute. So let's just go. This is the tone I was using without anything else. And then with it actually being mixed in. Which one can hear there is a substantial difference essentially working through that. So let's actually just go and see some of the other things it has. So if I'm just going, because that was number 6, I believe. Yeah, so here's one fun thing about it, is that it's only going to show the first 6, because you actually have to go to the menu to allow it to go to the rest of the presets, which, if I'm remembering correctly, it was setup menu. So to get to the setup menu, I have to go to, I'm trying to remember, I believe setup I had to press, yeah, there we go. So I want to do the setup, and like I said, there are so many things in here. And also you can set like this would be like mono to stereo, or stereo to dry, or having all kinds of different little things. I'm not going to go into most of that yet. Yeah, so let's add the preset. Oh, whoops. Okay. So let's just go from, instead of 1 to 6, we'll go 1 to 8. Actually, let's go to 9 to 16. And you see there's really nothing there yet, because you have to make your own. So if I'm just going 1 to 8 instead. And you see it's hold. So 7 and 8 are the other two. And then, of course, like I just showed you, it gives you 8, and then you have from 9 to 32 to build whatever you want. So let's see what we can get out of the syntaxer using the same tone, which was this. So anyways, let me just go through some of the things to try to describe the stuff that's going on. So besides the mix, so at the bottom left here, you can see currently it says cube. So we have cube, frequency, wave, stretch, air, ring, and cube again. So it's hard to really describe because of all the different little things it does. So essentially, stretch will record whatever input you're put into a sample and then play it back, and so then you can go and get like delays, reverse, feedback, all the different type of things when you're messing with the 4 options up here at the same time. And then moving from that, we have air, which is sort of gives a lo-fi reverb, which is a lot analog digital mix sort of. Then the ring is just a balanced ring modulator, and that can go a little bit of things that can do, and along with having random. Cube is cubic distortion, as one might have thought, with a fuzz effect, and also has a resonance filter. And then frequency is just the normal frequency shift effect, which you can just go, well, I mean, it's just frequency shift. It's not that hard to go into it. And then finally, wave is just a time-based modulator, usually like you would use for chorus, vibrato, flanger, and FM style effects with the rate and all that you can do. And then, as I also showed, there was a miniature sequencer in here, which you see at the above there, where you can go and set the type of sequencer and just really mess with this. Like, this whole page here is the sequencer itself. So you set all the different little controls of the sequencer itself, which is just obviously the speed that's going to glide between the things, the space, what it's triggering, and the pattern. And then obviously the sequencer will be, like, for each step you're setting the A, B, X, Y, and then that's how you're sequencing. So it's sort of intuitive with working the stuff like that. And then, of course, there's the global configuration, which is the craziest thing you can do, is that you can switch from mono to stereo, you can accept expression palettes, you can set, like, there's so many features in this, it would be near impossible to get through all of it in one video without making it overtly boring of just me going monotone and talking for hours on end. So, in lieu of doing that, we'll just go ahead and actually play the pedal. So let me find something nice. As you heard, so I'm going to go and do the same thing, but now let's go and change it to frequency. Anyways, that's just a quick run through. Like I said, I could go and get way too into this for way too long, so this was just to be quick about it, to try and give a very smooth overview. One thing I would recommend if you want to go more into this is to go to their website and actually look at the manual. It is 12 pages, but it is just walls of text of how much stuff you can end up doing with this. So, 12 page, like I said, it's easy to learn, hard to master. One of those where it's a little bit menu divey, but then you can go and find everything suitable for almost any type of effect. So let's start going through everything. The build quality is stellar. This is a really nice steel box. The knobs are plastic. And this is actually an OLED, so it's actually nice and bright and easy to see. And the buttons feel good. So I will give this a 4 out of 5 on the build. Just because the plastic, I can feel, might get sort of slippy. But, I mean, it's a nice little plastic. I don't have any faults. It's a 4 out of 5. The sounds itself, like I said, it's sort of like a little electron box with how much stuff is inside of it. So, I like it. I would definitely give it a, we'll say 4.3 out of 5 for how much stuff you can end up doing with it. But I will get a little bit less just because of how menu divey it is. But then again, I like electrons, so I'm not going to fault it that much. The only thing, like I said, that I have to go and pull back a little bit is purely just because of it gets sort of a pain, so I can see how it can be daunting. But the sounds itself are beautiful, very good sounds. I enjoy how it has all the different modes. It is a very large swath of effects, so I can appreciate it. And so that's, yeah, I'll give it 4.3 out of 5. That'll be my final rating. So until it'll be a 4.28 out of 5. And I mean, like I said, I like it. Now I would like to put some more time into it, more than I already have, trying to learn this. And the price itself was $300 or $299. And I've been playing this through a Novation base station. So that's everything. Since I don't have a problem with it, I like it. It's just a lot of learning to do, and I know I can keep discovering more things the longer I play with it. So anyways, this has been your host, Vic. If you have anything to comment that you want to see this on, or other things you want me to try and go through, please let me know, and I'll go and try and film it the same thing, as I would like everybody to make as informed of a purchasing decision as they can, as gear acquisition syndrome is a curse. Other than that, please like and subscribe, as that does help the growth of the channel, and you're already here, so you might as well. And just leave a comment, just because. You just leave a comment to say hi. I would appreciate it, just because it helps with the algorithm. So once again, it's been your host Vic, and I appreciate everyone for watching.